Hello everyone, it's Dr. Raj. One of the most frequent questions I get is, what's the difference between a psychiatrist, a psychologist, and a social worker? And even a psychoanalyst. It is kind of confusing. Let me start out with a psychiatrist. A psychiatrist is a medical doctor who went to medical school and specialized in the field of psychiatry. So I went to medical school. After I finished medical school, I had a choice. Was I going to go into internal medicine? Was I going to go into surgery, pediatrics, OBGYN, or psychiatry? I chose psychiatry. That allows us to provide medical care as well as psychological care for our patients. Let's talk about what a psychologist is. A psychologist is someone who has their PhD or Doctor of Philosophy in psychology, in the mind. Most psychologists function in the role of therapists in various specialty areas. They are not medical doctors and are unable to prescribe medications. There are certain parts of the country where psychologists have been granted the ability to prescribe medication with some advanced training in extremely rural areas. Let's talk about what a social worker is. A social worker is somebody who has done a master's level training. This is 2 years beyond the 4-year college level training, and then has gotten clinical experience, a certain number of hours. Then they are able to sit for an exam, and once they pass that licensing exam, they are considered a L.C.S.W, a licensed clinical social worker, and many L.C.S.Ws become therapists as well. Let's go back to what is a psychoanalyst. Now, a psychoanalyst is someone who really has the highest level of training in the mind, in my opinion. This is a social worker, a licensed clinical social worker, a psychiatrist, an MD, such as myself, a psychologist, a PhD, who says, I want even more training. And they go into a psychoanalytic training, which is usually 4 or 5 years after where they're at. They have to be analyzed themselves, which means they need to be on the couch 3 to 4 days per week for about 3 to 5 years, as well as get a significant further level of coursework and training in psychoanalysis. I hope that clarifies the differences between a psychiatrist, a psychologist, a licensed clinical social worker, and a psychoanalyst. This is Dr. Raj saying have a nice weekend. See you next week. Bye-bye.